Alright, let's say you've got a difficult to line up accessory. Bolt hole. Let's say maybe you have an aftermarket seat on your bike, like one of these damn Mustangs designed to move midgets forward. No, I'm kidding. They're actually designed so that, you can put an entire back deck out here, maybe a picnic table, some chairs. Or maybe you've got one of those Saddlemans designed to move you back and down, because nothing says comfort like removing 2/3 of the foam. But the problem is, this big extra plush looking apron makes it real hard to get those tiny little 15-centimeter bolts back into place. Nothing lines up quite right, or you just can't reach in that far. Solution is a blind bolt. Ignore the nut and washer there, we haven't installed it yet. This is a blind. Years ago, everybody knew what a blind was. A blind is basically a narrow, unthreaded section at the front of the bolt. Wish I had a slightly longer one, but this was the longest 6mm by 1 available at my local hardware store. And I wish I had done a better job putting a blind on it, but I was in a rush, and all I had handy was a bench grinder and a couple pair of vice grips. So I did what I could in the 90 seconds I had to work with it. But what this does is it lets you get in there where, I don't know if it'll show or not, but that hole is not real well lined up. Now you don't want to just start grinding on this thing. You want to make sure you take a file when you're done, clean it up, so your starter threads are all nice and clean and very shallow as they go in, so you don't cross the threads. But you can put that in there. Of course, you will not be able to see around my hand. Whoops. Hold that, please. Don't put me in there. Oof. You can use that blind to pull everything into place. Once you feel your threads start, now in this case we went with a much longer bolt so we could handle it from outside of the seat, since there's nothing on the other side of the nut that this fastens into. There's plenty of room for it, but it just makes it a whole lot easier. Now we're actually in the process of taking this seat off. If you look at the side cover there and the fuel on the engine, you can see we're doing some work on it. But just thought this is a good opportunity to demonstrate blind bolts, which, as I get older and older and talk to more and more young people, I realize that blind bolts and blind screws are a thing that nobody really knows much about anymore. That's all they are, and they can make navigating these little tight spots a whole lot easier.